The story unfolding in Cleveland right now has the potential to shake the foundations of the Browns roster as we know it. Just imagine, you're a die-hard fan, sitting there wondering how Andrew Berry, the mastermind behind so many of Cleveland's boldest moves, is plotting his next chess move. Well, folks, the rumors are getting louder, the hints are getting harder to ignore, and what's coming could reshape the Browns roster in ways we never expected. So be sure to hit that like button and come with me as I tell you all about it. Let's start with what's hot. Marquise Hollywood Brown. Yep, you heard me right. The Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver is quietly becoming the center of trade speculation. But let's back up a bit. Hollywood Brown was no ordinary wide receiver when Kansas City brought him in. The Chiefs had a whole plan around him for the 2024 season. A plan that fell apart before it even began, thanks to a preseason injury. From there, Kansas City's offense struggled to gel, even with Patrick Mahomes at the helm. And now, Brown is behind Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and, of course, Travis Kelce. He's barely a fourth-string option. Here's where it gets really interesting. Sources from Pro Football Network floated the possibility that Kansas City could be open to moving Hollywood. Nothing concrete yet, but think about this. If anyone's going to make that call, it's Andrew Berry. He fits the Berry prototype like a glove, former first-round pick, young, insanely fast. The kind of player Berry just can't resist. And let's not pretend Berry doesn't have a history here. We've seen it before. He loves going after wide receivers through trades. Look at the moves he's pulled off over the last few off-seasons. But, and this is a big but, this isn't the same win-now Browns roster we saw a year ago. After a rough 3-win season, would it even make sense to give up draft capital for a guy like Brown? From the outside, maybe not. But if you know Berry, you know he doesn't see the Browns as broken. He believes there's a core worth betting on. And let's be real, when the best wide receiver additions in free agency are DeAndre Carter, mostly a special teams guy, and Deontay Johnson, who may not even make the 53-man roster, the urgency starts to make a lot more sense. Now hang on, because this roller coaster isn't slowing down yet. Let's talk about Darren Bland, the cornerback from the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys fans, brace yourselves. Nothing is confirmed, but the idea isn't completely out there. Here's the deal. Jerry Jones has already made massive financial commitments to Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and has Micah Parsons' payday coming soon. Could Dallas be thinking about moving Bland before they're forced into paying him big money? It's not impossible. Add in the fact that Bland missed more than half of last season with a foot injury, and now enters a contract year. Meanwhile, the Cowboys went and drafted Siobhan Revel out of East Carolina, adding more depth to that secondary. Connect the dots. This could be the perfect time to sell high. Picture this, Berry picks up the phone and says, "Let's talk swap, Darren Bland for Greg Newsome." Both teams stay competitive at corner without the looming headache of negotiating a second contract for Bland. And come on, we know Berry's obsession with stocking up on cornerbacks. Remember when he drafted Martin Emerson out of nowhere? Or when he grabbed Newsome in round 1? Or Greedy Williams in round 2? Berry doesn't just love corners, he hoards them. Now, Browns fans, stay with me, because this next name might surprise you, A.J. Epenesa from the Buffalo Bills. Edge rusher. Big. Fast. Nasty in the trenches. Last season, Epenesa started 13 games and showed flashes of being the kind of guy offenses have to game plan around. Sure, his first few years in Buffalo were quiet, but 2024 was different. He became a reliable run stopper with legit pass rush upside. Here's the kicker. Buffalo just drafted Landon Jackson out of Arkansas, meaning they've got younger, cheaper talent ready to step in. So, if the price is right, does Berry take a swing? Let's not forget, nobody saw the Browns trading for Zadarius Smith last year. Berry loves fortifying premium positions. Edge rusher is always on his radar. And then, yeah, there's more. Romeo Doux from the Green Bay Packers. Maybe not the flashiest name, but there's something brewing here. Doux has speed, clocking in under 4.5 seconds in the 40-yard dash. But more than that, it's about the situation in Green Bay. The Packers spent a first-round pick on Matthew Golden, signaling a shift in their receiver room. Oh, and Doux? He wasn't thrilled about his role last year. Complained about targets. Skipped practice. Got suspended for a game. Red flag? Maybe for some front offices. But to Andrew Berry, that's a green light flashing. He's made a career out of finding value in players others overlook for non-football reasons. And the production is real, 15 touchdowns in his first 3 seasons as a 4th-round pick. Not too shabby at all. So Browns Nation, here's the real question. Which move, if any, should the Browns pull the trigger on? Is Hollywood Brown worth the gamble to electrify this offense? Should Berry go after Bland and double down on the secondary? Would Ebenezer bring the edge presence we've been missing? Or does Dew represent the kind of sneaky value play that keeps this team competitive without breaking the bank? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you thought that was the end of the story, think again. Because this offseason could define not just the Browns' 2025 campaign, but the entire trajectory of this franchise for years to come. Let's take a deeper dive into how each of these potential deals aligns, or doesn't, with the Browns' current reality and future ambitions. Let's circle back to Hollywood Brown. This isn't just about adding a speedy wideout, it's about finally giving Deshaun Watson the kind of weapon that can stretch the field, open up the middle for tight ends like David Njoku, and keep defenses honest. The concern, of course, is availability. Brown's injury history isn't a footnote, it's the headline. But if the cost is a late-round pick or a swap involving depth players, how do you say no to that upside? The Browns' wide receiver room isn't exactly stacked, and adding Brown injects an element of explosiveness that simply doesn't exist right now. But while Brown fits the mold of the high-risk, high-reward playmaker, the Bland conversation is all about stability at a premium position. The Browns' secondary has the potential to be elite, but only if it stays healthy and intact. And with both Greg Newsome and Martin Emerson approaching contract negotiations in the near future, Berry could be looking to preemptively solve a problem before it becomes a crisis. Adding Bland could allow the Browns to move Newsome, recoup picks, and lock down the cornerback position with players Berry feels are better fits long-term. Then there's Ebenezer. This move screams build in the trenches. If Berry's philosophy has shown anything, it's that he believes games are won on the line of scrimmage. Myles Garrett needs help. Zadarius Smith was a fantastic short-term answer, but the future at edge remains murky. Ebenezer's breakout last year was no fluke. His development into a run-stopper who can still get after the quarterback fills a hole this roster has quietly tried to patch for years. And don't sleep on Romeo Dew. On paper, it seems like a low-key move. But in reality, these are the kinds of trades that sneakily change a season. A reliable target who's young, cheap, and hungry. That's how playoff teams are built. And with the Packers clearly pivoting to a new receiver core, Dew may be more available than people think. Look, none of these trades come without risk. Brown's health, Bland's contract situation, Ebenezer's consistency, Dew attitude. But that's the game. And if there's one thing we know about Andrew Berry, it's that he's not afraid to take big swings when he believes in the upside. So, Browns Nation, the ball is in your court. Should Andrew Berry go all in and make one or more of these plays? Or is this the year to stay patient, hold on to your picks, and trust the process? I want to hear it all. Let me know in the comments. Which deal excites you? Which one worries you? And if you're in Berry's shoes, what's the play? And be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Go Browns!